Welcome everyone, I hope you're having a very wonderful day and welcome to my guide for bobcats for New England Mountains. Before we begin, I want to quickly break down how today's guide is going to work. First, we're going to be covering the bobcat locations and hunting methods, and then we're going to move on to weapon recommendations, and then ended today's video with the animal profile. So let's get right into it. Today I was kind of stumped on how I was going to do today's guide video because I didn't really have any locations to really show you, but I was like, well, maybe I can just explain on where the bobcats reside and then give you guys a brief overview on how I hunt them and to see if it works out for you guys if you want to try my methods. Now, bobcats are found from this middle section creek here and all the way up to the northern section of the map. They won't be found anywhere below the lower section of the creek. So, how bobcats typically work is that they are solitary animals. They do not work in groups. Once you kill them, they can spawn anywhere across the map. So I found a pretty decent hunting method that has gotten me quite a few diamonds so far, and not to mention I did recently see a level 9 run around on my map, so I guess my method has paid off. So this is how I do my bobcat hunts. I typically start here on this right hand side. I work all the way down to this creek point. I cut inward. I typically reset the spawn time as well, and I work my way all the way around up to this outpost here, reset again, and then I cut all the way up to this one, reset again, because normally the time's already done. And then I come all the way up to this section here, up to this house, and sometimes I'll either reset here, or I'll keep going and trying to push through as fast as I can up to this one. Now, once I get done with the rivers, I move inland here to all the lakes and make sure I didn't miss anything, any high-level bobcats. And then once I get done with the lakes, I move outwards. And my best recommendation, if you're trying to really get a diamond bobcat, is only to focus on killing level 7s and 8s. I would start working off on the 8s and keeping a mental note on where all the 7s are. So once you get done killing all the 8s, you move to the 7s. And then most likely you'll probably have a level 9 bobcat spawn in probably maybe after 20 to 30 kills. Mine have been pretty consistent since I have another level 9 running around on my map somewhere. I'm definitely going to have to find him and take him out and see if he's a diamond. I do want to mention something about some notable areas. This stretch of the river I'm on is pretty good for bobcat consistent spawns, and for some reason this lake right here is also pretty juicy for bobcats, and I also do believe the starter lake is pretty good as well. And then up north here we have another good section from this outpost on the right hand side all the way to this one on the left. And that pretty much covers all the bobcat locations and how I hunt them. We're going to move on to weapon recommendations, so I will see you guys there. Alrighty, so we're here back at my tent, and we're going to do a quick brief overview of these weapon recommendations. But first I want to say that I'll only be covering rifles, handguns, and shotguns. I will not be covering bows because I'm not a bow expert, and I will leave that to the professionals. So we're going to be starting off with rifles, and we're going to be covering the Ranger 243. It is a base game rifle, and I highly recommend using it when taking out bobcat. I've used it a few times before, but I prefer the next weapon in the lineup over the 243, but if you don't want to spend money, this is the rifle for you to use. Now further down below, it is my personal favorite weapon when taking out small game of any caliber, the Zagan 22-250. Very phenomenal. You can use it even to take out whitetail deer, and does a pretty decent job at that as well. I recommend picking this bad boy up if you really want to hunt bobcat or raccoons of any nature of those small game. That pretty much covers all the rifles for today's video. We're going to move on to handguns. And speak of the 243, as we spoke about earlier, the 243 Kumo is a very nifty, gimmicky pistol. It'll definitely level up your pistols pretty quick. And you can also put a rifle scope on it, which makes it very phenomenal and fun to use. And I highly recommend picking this thing up in the assorted sidearms pack. Further down, we do have a base game revolver that I'll be recommending. The 357 is pretty fun as well. I just enjoy the 243 Kumo more. And if you don't want to spend money, I recommend picking this pistol up and using it in your hunts. Very fun. I enjoy it a lot as well. Moving on, we're going to be covering shotguns. Now, I was trying to make some decisions about what shotgun to recommend when it comes to hunting bobcats, and pretty much most of them are really solid for hunting them, but I'm going to make the suggestion of making the Norton 20 gauge one of my personal favorites for hunting bobcats, as that it's semi-auto, and I can just rapid fire my buckshot into them and not have a care in the world, because sometimes I just suck. A lot of suck when it comes to shooting shotguns at these bobcats. But from my experience, the Norton covers it, and you could find it in the Duck and Cover pack. And that pretty much concludes for my weapon overview for today. So we're going to move on to the animal profile, so I will see you guys there. Well, we finally made it to the end of today's video, and here's my Bobcat's animal profile. I'm going to do a quick breakdown on it before I let you guys go. On the left-hand side, we have our basic information for Bobcats covering the class, difficulty, silver, gold, and diamond threshold range, and then we have our weight. Now, I do want to ask you guys for some help here. I had to go out of my way to find the least or the smallest Bobcat weight that I possibly could find, and 5 and 12 is what I have for kilograms and pounds. But if you guys find anything smaller, please let me know, because I could not find any information that was smaller than these weights here. And then the max weights are confirmed, so that information is very much accurate. And then down below that, we have our fur types covering common, rare, and very rare. Moving on to the center of the map, all other hotspots for Bobcat are covered in yellow, and then the red are the hotspots that I find the most Bobcats at. Now, it could be different for your map, but these are the most successful areas for me that I found the most in, and so I recommend checking them out. And on the right-hand side, we have our time zones to make your hunting life 10 times easier, and then below that, we have our ammo chart covering the ammo for full integrity kills for Bobcat. And that pretty much concludes today's video. I thank you guys for watching. I very much appreciate it. Happy hunting, good luck, and I will see you guys in the next one.